I really do like the idea though of like first date, no alcohol. I really enjoy that because you can really look when I'm on tequila, when I'm taking some shots.
The tequila.
Look,
not the shots.
when I
you kidding
right,
me?
maybe you're not taking shots on a first date.
Whoa, you're nervous as hell.
But this is what I'm saying. Like me and tequila, like when I'm drinking margaritas, I can have a grand old time with just about anyone. You know, like when I'm sipping on some white wine, some rosé, I can have a grand old time with just about anyone. And you can't really gauge, like you were saying, like you can't really gauge in hindsight, like whether that was like genuine enjoyment or just like think about the amount of exactly.
Like,
literally, was that the liquor talking? You know, so I really enjoy that because I with myself and I've heard from like friends and whatnot and their like dating experiences that like alcohol has influenced the way that they saw the person when they were dating them, like in those like first like initial moments.
And a lot of people use that as a justification, right? Because that is your truest self.
Sure.
I disagree. 100% I disagree because that is I don't think that's your truest self as it is your least actualized self. That's not that's not the self that you are spending the most time with.
Right. 100%.
And a person like the person that we're talking about who is engaging in these spaces is a person who likes being with themselves soberly, exploring those aspects of themselves and is looking for a person to do the same with mutually. So rule number 1. Limit your alcohol intake.
Yes.
On this first month. It's not gonna give you an accurate perception of the type of person that you are interacting with.
Yeah.
1, for your perspective on them.
Right.
And 2, for your interaction with them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be interacting in a completely different space, in a completely different mind.
Yeah.
You might be enjoying things that you wouldn't necessarily enjoy. And you are setting yourself up in the grand scheme of things to be with this person long term. 90% of your interactions will be sober.
Yeah.
You want to assess these people soberly.
Right.
Right?
It just makes sense. The other one being that the first date should happen in the daytime.
I think those two things go hand in hand because no one's drinking at 3 p.m.
Right. Hopefully.
If you are, hit me up because I like you. You're fucking fun. Let's hang out.
Let's
please.
have a grand old time. Oh my God.
But anyway, it's nothing productive.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't even finish that sentence. A lot of productive things happen in the evening. Nothing productive to your relationship will happen in the evening on the first date.
Yeah. And I think this is also like maybe a good rule to have like for a first date if you're someone who may kind of give into your impulses really easily and just in terms of maybe engaging in like physicality too soon with someone and that's something that you want to kind of take a step away from doing. Like, okay, like set the first dates during the day, have something planned at like 7 p.m. so that the date ends and like you go your separate ways. And so you're not like,
even if it's going well, even if there's lots of tension,
exactly.
even if you enjoy this person, like pace yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Like there's no need to rush in that aspect.
And doing it in the daytime, you're setting yourself up for success in the sense that there's going to be people around. The sun's on your face.
Also, too.
God's watching.
God and everyone is watching.
So
so even from like a female like safety perspective as well.
Yeah,
and,
that too.
Like if you're you met this person off of like a dating app. Everyone's on dating apps. You don't know who this person is.
Yeah, yikes.
Go out during the daytime, like you said. Lots of people are around. It'll be maybe feel safer.
Yeah. And then 2, or I guess 3, completely in line with that, like you were saying, have something to do after the date. Yeah, because I don't think that first dates should go on indefinitely.
Yeah.
I think you start unraveling a little bit too much too quickly.
Yeah.
Because you get nervous, you're on edge, and now it's hour 3. I don't know what else to talk about.
Or you're super excited about someone and you just start...
You're giving up too much information.
Yeah.
You don't know him from Jacob.
Right.
And you're over here tell him all your deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. It doesn't scream self-control or it doesn't really speak to a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Again, set yourself up for success.
Right. Leave them wanting more.
2 hours, an hour and a half. And then, like you said, leave them wanting more.
Yeah. I would say like max 3 hours.
Yeah. And then have something to do.
Yeah.
And even if it's going well, you have the second date. That's what the second date is for. You can assess all those other things and explore all those other things on the other dates that you have.
Totally. And like and that also like gives you room to like then like marinate on like what, you know, those 2 hours or whatever of that first date was, and you can come back more excited and whatnot. Also too, like having something to do after like a date, it can it can help you like manage your emotions about it, right? Because at least for myself, I know like I could get like when I was dating, I would get really excited about a person. So like
because it's new, it's novel,
100%, 100%.
Exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So like doing that to kind of like curb and manage your feelings a little bit better, so you're not like jumping all in on one person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other rules?
Fourth rule. I was thinking of another rule while you were talking, and I don't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head. It was...
Damn.
Doesn't matter. Rule number 4, and I think this kind of opens up a conversation to some more disclaimers I wanted to have for this entire conversation in general, because you as the listener, we're giving you all these bits of information on how to set yourself up for success on a date, right?
Yeah.
But as we were saying throughout every piece of advice that we were giving, you have to be on the date, right?
Totally.
So my 4th rule for successful dating is being absolutely 100% present and in the moment, and keeping all your expectations and all your intents and all your goals, especially on the first date.
Yeah.
I would recommend that you keep that to yourself.
Set that aside for the time being.
Because it's important to have that for yourself, so you know what you're looking for. But that assessment can't happen while you're on the date.
Yeah.
You have to experience the date for what it is. You have to be present and interact, socialize, see what this person is, assess certain things in the moment in terms of like just basic communication things, like
totally.
The back and forth, the jokes, the anecdotes, the presenting yourself in a way that's worth dating, first of all. And then afterwards, which is why we're saying keeping it brief, it's like you can go back, you can reflect, and you can align the experience that you just had with the expectations and the goals that you have with yourself. The mistake that I think a lot of people end up doing, especially the older people, especially the more self-actual, like you read a couple self-help books, you read The Power of Now,
not you quoting it mid-date.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like you've been around the block, you know what to expect, you have expectations out.
Totally.
Like you are ready for your person. And if no one meets that expectation, you're cutting it off, right?
Yeah.
And this is me speaking from a man's perspective on these dates with these older women. It's really hard for me to be myself and to present in a masculine way and to like be the full man that I want to be with all the pressure that people are coming to the relationship with. Because one, men in relationships already have a shit ton of pressure, right? And I don't know you from Adam. Right? Who are you as like you have no interaction with me. I have no perspective of you. Right. And now there's 1,000 barriers to interaction. right?
100%. It's like there's like this like structure, like just being like, here's the square and like you're a circle, and she's like, well, here's.
Are you gonna fit in there or not?
Are you gonna fit in the square? Right.
Like, no, it's like, oh, like he has a job, checks off the box. Like,
right.
Oh, like, do you go to therapy? Like all those like really,
which is such a weird question to ask. I feel like on a first date, do I go to therapy? Okay, that I would call invasive.
Like, you sound like you need therapy.
Like right. Like I feel like that would just come up. Like what a just like a strange, like unnatural question.
So
to
many
ask.
people have it, and they have it in their like Hinge bios
right.
too. It's like, make sure you've been to therapy. Like we need to talk about that.
Look, I'm all about the therapy, but it's just like the way that you bring it up, right?
I'm all about the self-help. I'm
right.
all about like the improvement. That's what we're talking about,
right?
Really.
No, exactly.
But in the spirit of romance, in the spirit of getting to know a person, in the spirit of interaction, no one wants to feel like you're judging or assessing their worth.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Totally.
And that is what that comes. That's what that comes across as.
Yeah.
And it makes me personally feel like I'm proving myself to you, and I'm like, I don't know you. Why do I feel like I have to prove myself? Like I'm trying. Like I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were worth getting to know.
Yeah.
And you are not even doing me the courtesy of trying to get to know me in turn.
Yeah.
To me, that's a waste of time.
You have to leave space for the person to show themselves, right? Instead of bombarding them with all of like your checklist, with all your rules and whatnot. Not to say that those things aren't relevant, but like you were saying, it's important to set those things aside because it can become, you can overwhelm the person with those things.
Your checklists are for you.
Yeah.
Not for the other person.
Yeah.
And then you experience the person and you decide for yourself if they meet those standards.
Yeah.
But if you're projecting that onto other people, you're robbing yourself of the experience of getting to know a person.
Yeah.
And that to me is a conflict of interest.
Amen. Preach.
It is what it is.